Welcome, everyone, and welcome back to FIC's National Coalition meeting. We have some things to connect about. It's a while since we last spoke. And I am very, very happy to announce that we have a new president who is Sara Hodson, which many of you have heard from and seen before. So welcome, Sara, to your first National Coalition meeting as the president.
Thank you so much. It's been I think an amazing time coming through COVID and having all of you to lean on and support, and you guys have given me the enthusiasm and the inspiration to go out and to fight and to advocate and to have a voice for fitness. So I look forward to all of the challenges to come and how we can overcome those and truly rise and be stronger than ever before. So looking forward to the future. There's going to be a lot more that we're going to be able to share on future calls of kind of our top three strategies and focuses that we're going to have as an industry association. But ultimately, we are here for each and every one of you to help you, to support you, to have a successful business, to get Canadians active. This industry is, I believe, more important and more relevant than ever before. We have the biggest opportunity to make really, I think, fundamental change from a federal level. And so we need all of you. We need all of the clubs, gyms, studios in your community. We need everybody on board because our voice only gets bigger and stronger as we all come together. So looking forward to a great time with you guys. And I'm very positive about how the future looks for fitness.
Thank you, Sara. We are happy to have you. And then we've had some adjustments and additions to our board of directors as well. Carl Ulmer, who was a board of director before, has graduated to our treasurer now, or who we like to call our national treasure. So thank you, Carl, for joining us in that capacity. Yeah. Did you want to say anything?
Sure. No, well, thank you very much. I just want to thank everybody for entrusting me with this important position in the FIC. Perry, thanks for believing me and getting me started with the FIC. I really appreciate it. One of the things, I'm obviously committed to keeping a healthy balance sheet with the FIC, but I think we'd all be falling short if we weren't looking to drive our membership up over the next couple of years. We've been all very influential provincially within our own provinces and been able to create some change either through inspiration, through pushing and fighting. So we've been influential provincially, but I think it's going to be necessary for all fitness facilities across Canada to become a part of the FIC over the next few months or over the next year, so we can facilitate positive change throughout the nation. And I think we're capable of doing that. And I'd be falling short in my position if that wasn't my number one mandate, keeping the balance books healthy, but also ensuring that we're driving membership up. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carl. And additions to our board of directors, I'd like to welcome Paula Comfort. Welcome, Paula, to the FIC board and our national team. Gabrielle Hardy, thank you as well for joining our board. You have done a tremendous effort in Quebec and leading the way. So we are so happy to have you join our national team as well. And same for Paula. Paula, you've been working behind the scenes in Ontario as well. So we do recognize all that you have done provincially. And as well as Ian Smith. Ian Smith, good to see you here today. Another new member of our board, as well as somebody who has been instrumental in talking to the media in Ontario as well. So thank you, everybody who is new to our board and bringing life and bringing vitality and really driving memberships and making sure that we are as sustainable as possible. And of course, we have our past board of directors who have continued to move through. So Scott Wildeman, who is our past president, David Hardy, who is our past president now, and the founder of FIC, as well as the birthday boy, Charlie. Thank you for joining us here on your birthday.
Happy birthday!
Thanks, guys.
So that is our makeup of our national team, our board of directors. And you will be working closely with our whole team, and we're so happy to start this year on this happy note. So that being said, we have a few things we're going to go through today. As usual, we'll start with a government update with our lobbyist, Chris Gray.
Thank you, Trisha, and congratulations to everyone on their new positions. I know for a fact that working with both Trisha and Sara is a real pleasure, and very energetic folks, obviously, and I look forward to helping get things done up here in Ottawa on the federal side. Just a few updates for you. I'm sure most of you know that we're only 10 days away from the federal election. Advanced polls did open today across the country, so there's many different ways you can get out and make sure your vote gets counted. I know that right after the election, it's very difficult to make any noise during an election campaign, but Sara, Trisha, and I were just speaking about our plans to really ramp up after the election. We could have upwards of 100 new members of parliament potentially that we would identify. Obviously, anyone has an interest in fitness and health, and really try to hit the ground running and identifying those potential people who could be champions for our industry moving forward. So that will be priority number one for us. And then, of course, doing our advocacy work on our priorities that Sara will speak a little bit about moving forward, and really trying to influence that process. So overall, again, you've seen the numbers. I may let the cat out of the bag of my bent here, or where I lean, but it's looking. It looks like the Liberals have stemmed the bleeding, I'll say. The polling, the recent polling I've seen is about 35-31 for the Conservatives. I will say that the Liberals do continue to lead in the important area of seat count. The last seat count I saw on the CBC poll tracker was 142 to 133 for the Liberals, which would be a reduction in the Liberals. The Liberals had 157 going into the election, and there's 177 needed for a majority. So I don't see a path to majority government anywhere here in the near future. I remain to be convinced. Obviously, we saw what happened in the province of Nova Scotia, where the Liberals thought they were going to walk to a majority victory, and it was the total opposite there. So remains to be seen what exactly will happen over the next 10 days. But I'm seeing it pretty much as the status quo with a Liberal minority government moving forward. So that will throw into question, obviously, both the Conservative and the Liberal leadership moving forward as well. So that will be something that we will continue to monitor. And then, as I said, the real work will hit on September 21st, when we have to start identifying who's who and who the important players will be. Just wanted to note that the subsidy programs were extended, as you probably know, and they are set to run until October the 23rd. And with business support has been mentioned by the parties as well during the election. And I know for a fact that the Liberals have pledged in their platform to increase the business loans from $300,000 to $500,000. And they are also planning on introducing a new line of credit for small businesses. There wasn't a hell of a lot of detail in the platform, but they are pledging to continue support in a different fashion and improving some of the things that they had done before. So anyways, I'll leave it at there. And if anyone has any general questions about how things are going, well, let me know.
Great. Thank you so much for that update, Chris. In my introduction of our new board, I completely forgot to mention our Vice President, Natalie Lacombe. She has always been there to support us in every capacity. And I know many of you are familiar with everything she has done and continues to do. So Natalie, thank you so much. All right, so let's move on to the next piece, which is going to be a discussion on the vaccine passports, which is quite a hot topic within provinces as well. So I know we will be touching on this when we go through each of the provinces, so we can discuss kind of a national standpoint of what we are seeing and things that are being done for the vaccine passports and the discussion we've been having kind of behind the scenes with FIC on that. So I will pass it to our president, Sara, to speak about that.
Thank you, Trisha. So we thought that it would be helpful to provide some talking points on the vaccine passport. And I am just finding that document in here. I will find it as we speak here. Oh, here it is. Yay. So as FIC, we have taken the position that we will continue to follow the provincial health guidelines, meaning that we won't kind of step ahead of the vaccine passport, and we will work with our provincial governments in order to operationalize the vaccine passport. And I'm sure that we all have personal opinions on it. And I think that this is an opportunity for us to really look at if this is a way for us to keep our businesses open, and if this is the next phase that is going to keep our economy alive, then this is what we have to do. And also stating, while this could have consequences for our business, and we have to keep the communication and the conversation alive with our provincial governments that this isn't easy on our industry. We don't want any of these restrictions. We're not asking for the vaccine passport to come in and create those obstacles for our business. But when the provinces do say that this is what we have to do, that we are going to work with our provinces to do that. And I know that, for me here in BC, Carl's done amazing work with our provincial government that he'll give an update on, which was learnings from Quebec and from Gabrielle and their group and everything that they have done. And then we're looking to support Ontario as they're a week behind from British Columbia. And I know that Manitoba's in the mix there also. So I'm sure that we will hear that on all of the provincial updates. But in terms of kind of our stance as FIC, that is where we're coming at. So after the meeting, Trisha will share these kind of high-level talking points, but it's in case media wants to talk to you, or you have to be interviewed about this, but also just for you to understand and share the FIC philosophy. And so the first one is, as members of FIC, we have always and will continue to follow the guidelines implemented by our local health authorities. As FIC members, we will continue to serve Canadians by doing all that we can to keep our doors open and while following health regulations. We want our businesses to remain open, and if that means following these guidelines, we will ensure that we will abide by the standards. As FIC members, we will do everything we can to keep our staff and members safe while being open to support the health of Canadians. If you haven't returned to the gym, now is the time to do so. Fitness has never been as safe as it will be within this vaccine passport world. This is the time to focus on your mental, immune, and physical health, and we can support this by providing you with a safe and sanitary environment. If following guidelines presented by the government and our health authorities cause us to lose 10% of our members, it will be hard for our businesses. However, our dedication to keep the safest, the absolutely safest possible environment for anyone entering our facilities, staff and members included, these are what we are committed to. So those are the key messages. Again, we will share those out if they are helpful for you in any way. But it is the position that FIC is taking at this time.
Great, thank you, Sarah.
Okay.
There have been a couple emails that have come in that request consent forms or are looking at creating consent forms for their members. And they have asked FIC if we have kind of a template that they can use. That is something that we are happy to create for you. So we can create a template for you to use for your members. Just note that once we send it out, do look through it and make sure that it is working well for your business before you use it. So that is something that we will also create. All right, so that being said, let's move on to the rest of our part 2, which is going to be our provincial reviews. So we will start over in BC.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Trish. Thanks, Sarah. That's a hot topic for first day as president, vaccine passports. So well done, Sarah. And so in British Columbia, we are in a unique position in terms of the vaccine passport. Public health has worked with us. They've been very responsive and available to us in British Columbia. And they worked very hard to keep at least a sector of our industry open through the entirety of this pandemic. And so we have a unique relationship in British Columbia, one where we've sort of had public health's back and they've had our back. As detrimental as it's been to our high intensity and low intensity group fitness sectors, we acknowledge that it's been very tough, but they have been willing to at least work with us. And so we not only do we support the FIC's overall message, in British Columbia, we're in a unique position that we should have public health's back in British Columbia, as they've worked hard to be able to have our back. And so we do have significant buy-in in BC. And again, personal opinions aside, in terms of business, this is the direction the FIC in British Columbia supports. So thank you, Sarah, and thank you for the FIC. So our vaccine passport goes live on September 13th. So partially vaccinated British Columbians can enter gyms as of September 13th. If you do not have one vaccination, then you cannot enter our fitness facilities. And this transitions to fully vaccinated members by October 24th. And so we have sort of a staged approach in British Columbia, a 1 vaccine to a 2 vaccine approach. And so that creates some operational difficulties. It gives some leniency to us as a business and our members to get caught up on vaccines, but going through the process twice, unless you have software that can support the process a little easier for you, it's definitely tough for business to go through this 2 times. So 2 waves, excuse the pun, of this process. So in preparation of the passport card program, Sarah and I were actually able to meet with the Minister of Health in his office to advocate for business. And so just briefly, we had 3 main asks above and beyond some other more minor asks. The first one was registration of vaccine status in our software was our biggest ask. We wanted to be able to confirm vaccine status and then register it within our software. Because of the volume of the foot traffic that we have in our facilities, we felt that this is the only way we could operationalize this. We're happy to report, and we're happy to report the FIC in British Columbia yesterday that we got approval on this. So that was a great win for our industry in British Columbia. So with written consent in British Columbia, you can put vaccine status within our software. So if anybody, any other provinces are going through this or need support on wording or advocacy or some of the legal rules, ramifications that the province put in place to prevent some of the things that your Minister of Health or government or public health has concerns about, feel free to reach out to anybody in FIC and BC. We'd love to have a chat with you. We also wanted a 2-week grace period before they started sending the troops out to fine us in our fitness facilities. And so our ask there was, because of the high volume of customers that we have coming into our facilities, we painted a picture for them on day 1. One of our high volume clubs could have 72 people waiting outside at 5 a.m. in the morning to work out. And the operationalizing that and making sure that every single person is absolutely verified to have vaccine status may be difficult. And so not only did they they are going to be working on the legal framework to put that in specifically for fitness facilities in the public health order. So that was a fairly big win for us. And so our staff and our members and our leadership groups on club can be rest assured that we won't have them fining us in the first couple of weeks. I say couple of weeks, they wouldn't define a time frame, but Sara and I were speaking the language of 2 weeks. And so we're fairly comfortable that it's going to align with that one way or another. Another ask was 24-hour facilities. We spoke with Quebec. We found out, and thank you very much to Natalie and Gabriel for taking our calls, being available and responsive, especially Gabriel. I called you a couple of times freaking out while you're at your son's soccer game, and you're always available to me. 24/7 in Quebec, we found out wasn't allowed to operate without staff on. So you needed staff on in Quebec. And so the ask in British Columbia for 24/7 was, as long as software was able to verify that a member was vaccinated or not, could we continue to be allowed open as a 24/7 business unstaffed? And I'm happy to report that we were given approval on 24/7 and being unstaffed at night, as long as the software had certain, way above my head, I'm not smart enough to understand it, but as long as it had some certain benchmarks or preventative measures in place to ensure the health and safety of the members within the facility. So again, thank you to Natalie and Gabriel for working with on that and giving us some language that supported us getting that win in BC. We're still waiting to open high intensity group fitness in the interior and Northern Health. Currently, those are local restrictions in British Columbia. And so that's the way British Columbia has decided to deal with this locally in terms of local health authorities. And so in the interior and in Northern Health, high intensity group fitness is currently closed. So we've been lobbying to reopen high intensity group in these areas. Unfortunately, these, as they are sort of community decisions, it's interior health and Northern Health that makes these decisions, not BC Public Health, who we have more of a influence on. And so our understanding is that they are optimistic and they are, what's the word here? I want to make sure I get the right word that we got back from Public Health. So in districts, they are highly considering allowing high intensity to reopen on Monday with the single dose vaccine. And so we don't know today, and we'll continue to find out more. We have just literally now been invited to speak, Sara and I, to speak with the Premier's office right after this call at 11:30. Typically, this type of a call is an announcement like this. So we may find out in the next half an hour that high intensity can open up or won't be opening up. So that's good to see. Hopefully we will. And lastly, I know I've spoken a lot here. Sara and I have an interview with Global BC News on Sunday. So our goal in this interview is to support the FIC members in British Columbia by sharing what a gym will look like when you walk in, sort of their typical gym, and what to expect our members and staff, or sorry, our staff to ask for. And so be prepared when you come to your gym on Monday with your vaccine status card. It could be the QR code. It can just be the little business card when you walk in initially in the first couple of weeks, as well as a government ID. Here's what government ID is. And then also just asking them to be kind and friendly to our staff as we go through this transition. It's new to us, it's new to you, and we appreciate that. We've also requested grant money. We've put a second request in for additional grant money for gyms in BC, similar to the circuit breaker. So we've doubled down on the circuit breaker, something between $4,000 to $20,000 per location back in March. We're looking for $8,000 to $40,000 per gym location in British Columbia. One, because they consistently shut down our business in Interior Health and Northern Health. The vaccine passport is going to cut our revenues down 10 to 20%, as well as they told us in British Columbia that, hey, just hold on to your seats. July 1st, we're going to open. And then we said, well, July 1st is our slowest season. Thank you, Gabriel, for the wording on that. And so they said, well, don't worry, September is going to come and then they're going to flood in your doors. And we said, okay, we'll hold the rope for you in BC on that. We'll hold the rope. And then boom, the vaccine passport has been put in place. And so our second busiest seasonal time for September is likely not going to happen for us again. And in order for our fitness facilities in BC to get through the fall and the winter, we're going to need additional grant money. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl. That was a really good update there in BC. For Alberta, I received a note from Scott Wildeman, who is taking on as lead in Alberta, and he did speak to the government representation yesterday, and he understands that the position is going to be so that the fitness industry does not have any further restrictions that are placed on fitness. And in the event that more restrictions are mandated, they will be following, but businesses who select a vaccine passport will be exempt from the capacity or distancing requirements. Alberta is not lobbying for a vaccine passport. So that is kind of an update on Alberta, a short update on Alberta, but they are looking to engage with finance and JEI groups in order to discuss tax credits and or deductions, especially since the subsidies are going to be wrapping up shortly here. So that is what is happening in Alberta, and we will have further news on Alberta soon as they do have meetings coming up in the next week. So we are going to move on to Saskatchewan. Is Saskatchewan representation here today? Don't think I saw any, which is fine. Let's go to Ontario.
Hey guys, so Andy here. I'm in terms of the updates for Ontario. So last week or maybe last week and the Friday before, that news came out about the vaccine certification for Ontario. So on September 22nd, you'll have to be double vaccinated to enter gyms. On the 22nd, it is the gym's responsibility to confirm the vaccination of the member through seeing either the PDF document, the vaccination certification, or via email. And then also they have to provide a government ID. And then come October 22nd, there will be a vaccine passport system certification system that's going to be provincial wide. That'll be based off of a QR code. So the QR code would be able to identify whether or not the member has their vaccination. I know Perry, I believe Perry's on this call. Perry may have some more details around that process and be able to provide some more color and context to it. Perry, you available?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, basically it's up to the fitness facilities to monitor it. We're finding that most of the fitness facilities intend to go ahead and follow the rules of the law as far as the vaccine passport occurs. And they do need to identify, they can get similar to what they're doing in BC. Like a lot of clubs have the soft to have that capability. So if you show it once, you can just enter it into your software that that person has shown their vaccine passport that they are fully vaccinated. And the software, if they have a proper software, it'll actually allow them in. And also if they haven't shown it, it'll actually put a red flag on their accounts. But they do have to show that proof and only once if to access the club. And with the QR code, it's a similar thing. If you show in the first month when they do come up with a QR code, and with the QR code, they haven't come out with the details of the government of how they would scan it. And the other question about it, they haven't, and we're not sure how heavily they're going to police it. I know they've been policing a lot with following the safety protocols. I've been talking to different clubs, and it varies depending on what region you're in, what city you're in. But some places they've been visited a number of times, making sure they're following the safety protocol. There's really not a lot of information out there that we know how they're going to handle policing the gyms by make sure they're following the vaccine passport protocol as well. Okay, Andy, you want to keep going? I think that's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I have. And that's all I had from an Ontario update perspective with regards to around vaccination certification.
Great, thank you for the Ontario updates. Let's go to Quebec.
What's up, everybody? So here in Quebec, it's been on since 10 days now. So September 1st was our first day of vaccine passport. We have a period of 15 days just to make sure like our system and everything is going okay. So we are tolerate to have people not vaccinated in the gyms till September 15. After that date, everybody that is in the gym is supposed to have the two shots and the vaccine passport. So the first day that that happened, obviously a lot of media wanted to know if everything is all right. Is this like a mess in your gym and blah blah. And as soon as they said, as soon as I said to them, no, it's not that bad, they were like, okay, so it's not a news, so we're not gonna come to your gym and making a line with that in the media. And I was like, no, you come to the gym, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is and how fast it's gonna be for our client to pass and blah blah. And the objective of that, or the purpose, was I had many purposes with that. One, I wanted all the members to know it's not going to be a mess. It's going to be easy to come in the gym, and it is going to be as safe as it used to be. And like Sara mentioned, and the FIC line on that is our places are really, really safe, and everybody should feel safe to come and train in the gym. The second purpose of that line, the media line, was to for the government to get off our back, let's say this, because the gyms had a bad reputation in Quebec. So I wanted to show we're gonna make everything fine, secure, and we're gonna follow the guideline, and our system are able to do it. So I scan you once, I know you have your passport, so now you can enter the gym, and it's gonna be easy, and it's gonna be also recognized like this is a good way to do it. And since we did that, like we did not have any backlash from the government. Like we're not taking each and every day the passport and the identity card, let's say. So that would have been really heavy for us to do. And this is what all the restaurant or other place are supposed to do. So you show your vaccine passport each and every time you show a pass or your driver's license or whatever. So it's really heavy to if you have a lot of people wanting to come in, it's heavy to manage. So like it's all right, everybody is thinking what we do is good, so it passed the media test, and then everything is kind of normal here. We did not have a lot of people not coming or resigning from the gym. So at first we thought maybe around 10% of our business would like collapse, or we would resign some memberships and everything. And I'm talking with many owners here. It's not that bad. Obviously for the government, we are saying, oh my God, this is like bad. Like Carl was saying, we're going to lose so much clients, and it's a difficult time after being closed for that and that and that. But like it's not that bad right now. So we have till the 15th to see if let's say September 15 we're going to have a big drop off. But for now it's like normal. It's a big September. A lot of membership are signing right now. So it's going quite well. We had another ask for the government, and I talked with CFIB yesterday on that. It's to recognize our kinesiologists and our professional as part of the health system. So because here you cannot enter a gym if you're not twice vaccinated and you don't have your passport, so you cannot go see your trainer. So a lot of professionals are losing clients because the client don't want to be vaccinated, so he cannot enter in the gym and get trained or have the services. And this is bad for the industry, and this is bad for our professional. So we're asking to be the same as physiotherapists, chirotherapists, massage therapists, and all those people that are allowed to have access to any client which have or not a vaccine passport. This is a double blade sword, maybe. I don't know if in English it sounds right, but they passed a law 2 days ago that if you are a health care worker, it's mandatory for you to have the vaccine, like 2 shots. And if you don't have 2 shots at September 15 or 20, you will be sent out of your job. So you will not be able to work in hospital anymore. So this is kind of big. So if we want to take that line, that would bring all the kinesiologists and the trainers and the professionals in the industry to be in the obligation to have 2 shots of the vaccine. So maybe it will kick out some people that don't want to have 2 shots of the vaccine, but on another side, that would help our professional to have access to the client. So this is another thing we are presenting right now, but for sure the line is a little bit getting like thicker or stronger for the government. So if you work in an hospital, even if it's private, if you're in a clinic, you're gonna have to get 2 shots, or if not, you cannot work there anymore. So it's getting maybe a little bit harder for people here to not have 2 shots. And if you want to go against it, it's really because like it's into you that you don't want the vaccine, because your life is going to change quite a lot. So this is what's happening here. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, but on a positive note, it's not that bad. You know, the clients are here and we sign and we don't lose that much. But on another side, it's kind of intense for the professionals.
Gab, just to let you know, while you were talking, both Charlie and Deanna supported what you said about the fact that they're actually getting new members in, and the ratio between members lost and members in is actually quite positive right now. I don't know if Evelyn's still there and is able to confirm it from a large chain standpoint as to what it looks like in energy cardio, but generally, in my conversations with a lot of our members and a lot of the gyms, it had everything to do with the communication that was sent out to members. Those that sent communication that was very logistical, because there's logistics behind it, but those that sent communications that were super like, you need to do this and you have to do this and we're going to do this and you're going to scan it in. And it's just because they've had hundreds of those messages because everything keeps changing, are not getting them back. And I've spoken to some of them that were 25% even before the vaccine passport and were convinced it was going to go down, versus the ones that had that message, which is why we put it in the key message of like, we are safer more than ever before, have been actually able to reassure the members that we're kind of waiting for it to be 100% safe to come back, especially those, I would say, 50 and over. So the community center ones, the gyms that have that type of community, we know it's that, but then you've got a CrossFit and you've got, 30-minute HIIT and you've got Orange Theory, which is not necessarily solely over 50, stating the fact, so maybe a little bit of a younger population, stating the fact that they're also doing well with membership sales. So that's why Sara and Trisha and I worked on that communication for it to be a never has it been, and it's a great communication, obviously, for PR and for the government, but even to our members, we're so trying to figure it out. Once we figure it out, we get into features and logistics and not a welcome back. There's a lot of people that still haven't come back. Now, if you've been worried, it's super, super safe more than ever before now. And the ones that went that way and had a bit of a relaunch, member get back, welcome back campaign are actually doing quite well. So from a strategic standpoint, I just wanted to share that. And I don't know if Evelyn's able to mic on and let us know.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
she does have. Vas-y, ma belle.
Do you hear? Oh, yeah. Okay, good, good. Thank you, Natalie. Hi, everybody. So for us, it depends on the region, actually. Some region, we see exactly the same thing than what Charlie was saying before. So we have people coming back, new people coming in the gym. And in some other region, it slowed down a little bit. So it's there is really a variation actually in the reality of the gym. But in general, I would say the majority we're not affected that much. So and the region that are affected, they are region that are known to be region again vaccine and again vaccine passport. So it's kind of normal actually in some area. For example, in Montreal, we know that in that area there are really people that are more likely to be against a system like a passport, and that shows directly in our gym. For personal training, because there is a membership but personal training, also this is really positive actually. I would say that in personal training, if we look at the ratio of membership and personal training, the ratio is better than before. So we are selling almost the same amount of personal training with less people. So people need to be to receive support and to be lead by a coach, to be coached by a personal trainer. So this is really what we see Personal training is very positive. The only problem that we have with personal training, it's personal trainers. We don't have enough personal trainers. We're working, and this is a pretty general situation in Quebec right now. I don't know if it's the same thing in the rest of the Canada, but so that's the work that we have to do to recruit more trainers, kinesiologists, because now there is a huge demand of kinesiologists in health system. So we see the kinesiologists being hired by I don't know what's the name in English, my God, but with a clinic that governmental clinic with also older, elder houses. I don't know how to say that in English. So, so this is where right now, when you speak with company that recruit, that help to recruit, they say that the biggest demand right now is in older houses. So, so this is what is happening in Quebec, but in general, we see it positively. And with the announcement that they're going to continue a couple of weeks more, the substitutes, what you were saying before at the beginning, I was going to say Scott, but it's not Scott. So this is very positive. I think it's going to help us a little bit more. So that's
Thanks,
what is
Evelyn.
going on in the biggest chain.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Evelyn.
Yeah.
And there's a thing just to finish on that, maybe also because people are seeing the fact that we are less likely to close in the weeks to come or the months to come because of the passport. So before maybe they were thinking, yeah, do I get a membership and then I'm gonna have to pay and stop to pay and I'm gonna strain home and blah blah. But since they started to say that with the passport, all is going to stay open, and even the Prime Minister last week said like we're going to have to live with the fact that we're going to have people in the hospital regarding the COVID, but we have to let our businesses go and stay open. I think this is really reassuring for the people to say, okay, that's fine, I'm going to go take a membership, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to close soon. So this is another fact we have to take in the balance.
Thanks, guys. So hopefully that gives everybody else a little bit of a glimmer of hope. Again, in a province that's really tight, in which we can't have a system doing the check-ins. It has to be a human being at every single time the person comes in. A piece of ID needs to be shown. Even if the vaccine's in the system, a piece of ID needs to be shown every single time the person comes into the system. So yeah, some of our, like Econo Fitness, which is one of the largest chain in Quebec, has moved away from their 24-hour format permanently because of that. So shifted the business model completely, because it just doesn't make sense for them to have somebody there. So in a province that's really restrictive within the use of the vaccine passport, it seems to be going well in general from what we've heard. So hopefully that gives you guys, helps you sleep a little bit better at night in the weeks to come. You're on mute, Trisha.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the updates. And I know Quebec has always kind of led the way, so I wanted to make sure that we have as much knowledge as possible, which we are getting from Quebec. So we are very fortunate to have the Quebec team share their learnings with the rest of the country and let us know what to expect and what to be prepared for. So thank you so much for that. Before we wrap up today, I did want to make note that there is, I see some people are asking for a Manitoba update. Unfortunately, we don't have one for today, as our Manitoba lead is not with us today. But if somebody from Manitoba just wants to speak to what is happening. Deanna, perfect.
Hi guys. So Manitoba is, we launched there with our vaccine passports on Friday of last week, and it went smooth as it's going in Quebec. And I can also note for Nova Scotia, they're going to start phase 5 on September 15th. So next Wednesday, which is full mask removal and no social distancing. But they're not implementing their vaccine passport to October 4th, which I don't know why they did just kind of do it at the same time, but that's what the update is for Nova Scotia. And Newfoundland is also going with a full vaccine passport as well in Atlantic Canada. So I don't know if New Brunswick is.
Right. Thank you, Deanna. Any questions for any
Trisha,
yes.
If I can just speak on behalf of Manitoba for a second.
Absolutely. That would be great. Thank you, Amber.
Yeah, so we, when we got told that we were doing the vaccine passport, we were only given about 5 days notice to implement this. We were given no policies, protocols, and we still don't have anything in place for Manitoba because it got implemented September 3rd. So as for 24-hour gyms, the last I spoke with our MLAs and health inspectors, they still are in discussion as to what to do and how we're supposed to do this. So we weren't given any leeway, like BC is given that extra like 2 weeks just in case so they can get it figured out. We weren't given that. We were just 5 days and they said to put it into place. So every gym is kind of just flying by the seat of their pants here, wondering what to do and how to do it. Unfortunately, we haven't got much from our representation here in Manitoba, so we can't even get a hold of anybody to find out what we're supposed to do for situations like that. So we kind of just took it upon ourselves to try to figure it out. A lot of people are using, we do have to use the QR code, and they do have to have full vaccination plus 2 weeks here. So they have to present either their vaccine passport card, which comes in the mail and usually takes about a month to get in, or their QR code. And right now we're kind of just at a guessing game if we are allowed to just keep it in our system. Like I think it was either maybe BC said that they can use that in their system. We would like to see, I loved Carl's conversation there that they're trying to push for some help in our clubs alone. So I'm the Manitoba rep for Anytime Fitness. And in our clubs alone, we're seeing anywhere from a 10 to a 30% loss in our clubs since that, which is quite high, but in some of the areas that we're in, we're getting hit harder due to the non-vaccination rates. My suggestion to other gyms is not to put what you're doing on social media for your gyms, because you guys have probably been seeing all that, but to keep it off social media and just message your clients if you can, because you'll get harassment one way or the other. And yeah, so we've kind of just done what we can for that side of it, and we're still waiting. It's still in discussion of what we're supposed to do here. So I haven't heard of anybody being fined. Majority of the reason that we're losing business is there is a lot, and you guys are all going to see that too, is there's a lot of gyms who are staying open to everybody regardless. You guys have probably seen that across Facebook and all social media platforms. So what's happening to the gyms who are following the mandates, you're losing a large percentage of those people to the gyms that are not following protocol, and everybody is moving over there and signing 12-month membership. So that's the tough part for gyms. So just if you guys have, since you guys have time, we didn't have time to figure this out, and we were the first ones to implement it within those 5 days. So definitely if there's anything that we can help with before you guys reach that, I met with our BC rep for Anytime Fitnesses and our president of our company. We had a conversation as how we can create something like Carl was talking about where they can send in the information. But again, every province has a different law onto what information you're allowed to and not allowed to have. So there's some legalities of that stuff too. But we are taking, unfortunately, it's not as positive as what we hear from Quebec. We're taking quite a big hit here. I'm not sure. I know Catherine and Joe and Colin are on this call too. I'm not sure if it's the same for them in their areas, but in Winnipeg and Brandon, we're taking a pretty, and Steinbach, everybody's taking a pretty big hit there. So hoping better for you guys than us, but we would definitely like to have, it's nice to hear this side of it, that we do, if we can get some wording and stuff from you guys too. And I guess in this, all the provinces just need to work together to get through this, because nobody nobody wants us in the gym industry. We'd love to see a little bit, we'd like to see some grants or some money come out of this. We did the math, and to sit 24 hours a day, it costs us $15,000 per month per gym to sit there and scan passports. So that's just not feasible in the gym industry. If there's anybody who has some push with the government as to helping us out with that, if that's what they want us to do, or they can sit their butts in the chair scanning the passports. It's my thought on it, but that's my personal opinion, because I've been sitting here from 5 a.m. to midnight doing it. So for 5 straight days. So it's not feasible in a 24-hour gym. But yeah, that's our update for Manitoba. I'm not sure what Dino's update is, but we have yet to talk to him. So we'll talk aside, Trisha.
I'm sorry to hear that, Amber, but I can't relate, and because we're not a 24-hour fitness, and I'm so sorry that you're having to do those long days, but I'm frustrated that there's other fitness studios not following protocol. I'm scared because I've heard about some fitness studios in BC that have also posted on social media they're not going to be following protocol, and we have to stick together. I think people that are not following it, that's what gives fitness such a bad rep, and we have to make sure media stays away from that. We got to be on top of that. In Manitoba, at our locations in Winnipeg, we are saving the information once they show us their vaccine passport. All we do, it's an online check-in though that we've built, and we ask them if we can save this information. What we have to do though is, as soon as that vaccine mandate is lifted, we have to remove that from our member manager system. So yeah, really sorry to hear your situation, and if I can help you in any way, please reach out anytime.
Thank you for that. And Amber, great update, and thank you for sharing what's happening, and really upsetting to hear that it is still a point of struggle for you, but again, we're here to support the best we can. So if you need any documentation, please reach out to me. Happy to provide wording as needed. And I just wanted to highlight a point that you have brought up that we actually haven't discussed in a little while, and that was about what you post on social media and how it impacts your business. I'm really glad you brought it up. We have talked about it in the past as well, but just a review of being very aware of what you are posting and how it reflects your business. So connecting with what makes sense for that time. I know that there are a lot of opinions out there and a lot of backlash that gets made on social media that doesn't necessarily best represent how you are operating your business, but perception is key. So just reminding everybody about that perception. Now, any other questions, concerns, comments about anything we've discussed today? No, seems like we're okay. I do want to let you know that we have started with only inviting those who are members to our national meetings. So that way we do build value to our membership. As many of you know, I have reached out to a number of you, and some of you who are here today are currently in the process of your membership, which is a wonderful thing. So we do hope that you do find value and you are sharing and participating in these meetings. And please feel free to have a voice. If there's something you want to bring up, let me know. We can always schedule in a slot for you in this meeting to speak to the topics that you are passionate about, or that you want to know more about, or have to share about. So do reach out to me. I am available to get you a spot, get you some ground to speak on. So that is that. Yes, Evelyn.
Yes, I'm sorry. I have a question. What Sara was reading at the beginning of the meeting. I don't know if it's possible to have it, because I found that the words were just perfect.
Okay.
We use about the same language, but I find that the way it was just bam 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 lined,
Yes.
it was just perfect. So if Sara, if it's possible, I would love to have that text, and if you agree, I would like to probably use part of it. So because
You can use it word for word, Evelyn.
In either language, Evelyn. So it's being translated. You'll get it in both languages.
Yes. So what
So
I'm going to be doing is after this call, when I send out the email recording, I will be sending out the English version just in the email itself, but we are getting it translated into French as well. And any FIC member is able to use those key messages as their statements when speaking to the media or connected to the vaccine passport or wherever you see fit.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, Sarah, and thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, all the committee. You're a great person, so it's fantastic to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, that wraps up our back to FIC National Coalition meetings. And hopefully we will gain some more members for next time and continue on growing and supporting each other, of course. Have a wonderful Friday, everyone, and a wonderful weekend.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.